My name is Sister Alicia, and this is the Pulse for Thursday, May 23rd, 2024. Just a few days ago, the National Eucharistic Pilgrimage kicked off from Connecticut, California, Texas, and northern Minnesota. But many of us are relatively far from those pilgrimage routes. Myself here in Chicago, I decided to take a long hike Sunday afternoon, and I couldn't help but begin to think about how, just as I was walking along those trails, my fellow Catholics, fellow pilgrims, were walking along those official pilgrimage routes. We are a pilgrim people, and we are literally on a pilgrimage home to heaven. And Jesus is always alongside us. Friends, there's so much news covering this pilgrimage, it's incredible, and we could feel like we want to just consume all of it. But the Lord is inviting us to take a step back. So I want to share 3 tips with you on how to read the pilgrimage news in the coming months. Tip number 1, ask the Holy Spirit to help you identify something in the article that's just for you, a grace for you. Step number 2, really ponder in your heart what strikes you as you read a particular story. Consider bringing it to prayer and talking to Jesus about it. And step number 3, be courageous and share the graces that you've experienced through an article or a video or an image online with somebody that you know who may not know anything about the National Eucharistic Pilgrimage. This week in Heart of the Revival, well, we have so much coverage for you from the National Eucharistic Pilgrimage. We share June's story, a 79-year-old from Joliet, Illinois, who's preparing to attend the National Eucharistic Congress with her family. And now for revival news from across the country. First, let me share some highlights from the pilgrimage launches around the country. Bishop Cousins presided over an outdoor mass at Itasca State Park, the starting point of the Northern Marian route, and led a mile-long Eucharistic procession and benediction to send off the perpetual pilgrims. The St. Elizabeth Ann Seton route began with a Pentecost Vigil Mass, celebrated by Archbishop Christopher Coyne at St. Mary's Church, followed by a Sunday morning procession and a Eucharistic pilgrimage boat ride through the Long Island Sound. The St. Juan Diego route began in the Diocese of Brownsville, Texas, with Mass at Immaculate Conception Cathedral, celebrated by Bishop Daniel Flores, and followed by an opening procession. The St. Junipero Serra route began in San Francisco, with Mass at the Cathedral of St. Mary, celebrated by Archbishop Salvatore Corleone, followed by a procession with the Eucharist across the Golden Gate Bridge. Bishop Cousins said at the start of the Marian route, "Brothers and sisters, would you like to see a revival in our country? Then it has to begin with you and me." Before the launch of the Marian route, more than 3,300 of the faithful attended a Eucharistic Congress in Bemidji, Minnesota on May 17th and 18th, co-hosted by the Dioceses of Crookston and Duluth. Entitled Star of the North Congress, Bishops Andrew Cousins and Daniel Felton were joined by Archbishop Bernard Hebda for Mass, Eucharistic Adoration, testimonies, and catechetical talks. Speakers included Bishop Robert Barron, Father Mike Schmitz, Sister Jude Andrew Link, Christina Llamas, and presentations were given by teams from the Hallow app and Saints Alive podcast. Some participants from outside the diocese even drove to attend, including one mom who drove with her teens from Ontario saying, "I had 5 teenagers begging me to take them to a Eucharistic Congress. How could I say no?" And now for our Congress moment. On May 18th, it was announced that Cardinal Louis Tagal will be the special envoy for Pope Francis to the National Eucharistic Congress this summer. A native of the Philippines, the Cardinal currently serves in the Holy See's Dicastery for Evangelization. He will not only be present for the Congress, but will be the main celebrant at the closing Mass on July 21st in Lucas Oil Stadium. As we wrap up the Pulse for this week, I'd like to just leave you with some words from Bishop Cousins. From the whole experience of this Congress and the pilgrimage, there's going to be a lot of graces that flow out. We're just praying that those graces permeate our people and that there is a real renewal here. On behalf of Bishop Cousins and the National Eucharistic Pilgrimage teams, the Congress team and the Revival team, all working hard across the country, thank you for joining us for the Pulse this week, and God bless you.